initial verse of the Parshat, there's a difficulty. Where the Torah introduces the age of Sarah, the years of her life, and there's a repetitive statement that's used both at the beginning of the sentence and at the end of the sentence, seemingly unnecessarily. The text reads, and these are the years of the life of Sarah. This is Sarah's life. 100 years, 20 years, 7 years, 127 years. She lived 127 years. And then the text concludes, Shnei Chayyei Sarah. These are the years of the life of Sarah. And I saw that many of the commentaries are struggling with this question. Why the need for the repetition? It said already, Vayihiyu Chayyei Sarah. And this is the life of Sarah. And then again, to conclude after it says, she lived 127, says, and these were the years of the life of Sarah. So there are many answers. But I would like to study together an approach that I saw in the Sefer of HaKtav VaKabbalah, a great work where Rav Mecklenburg suggests that the word Shnei, you see the word at the end of the sentence, Shnei Chayyei Sarah. Shnei in Hebrew can mean the years of the life of Sarah, from the word Shana, Shanim, or Shnei can mean two. Shnei Chayyei Sarah. I think he's the only one that translates that way. I wonder if there's any translation that took that into consideration. Shnei Chayyei Sarah. It's not just merely saying these are the years of the life of Sarah. Shnei, Sarah was able to be successful in combining two aspects of life. And maybe that's the secret of the greatness of Sarah, and maybe that's the very message of Chayyei Sarah. Which two aspects? What did she combine?
Spirituality.
What?
Spirituality and the physical world.
Yeah, that's what Rav Mecklenburg writes about. That somehow Rav Yaakov Tzvi Mecklenburg in Aktar, she knew something. She excelled in the world of the spirit. She excelled in the Olam HaRuchani, and she excelled in the Olam HaGashmi. There was no contradiction in the life of Sarah. The excellence that she had in the world of spirituality did not negate her physicality, and the excellence that she had in the world of physicality did not negate her spirituality, because she was an expert at Shnei Chayyei Sarah. She took the two aspects of life and she brought them together. And that's such a struggle. And perhaps Sarah, our mother, one of the chief personalities in this week's Parshat, teaches us that there's no contradiction between heaven and earth. Remember the ladder of Jacob? Sulam Mutzav Arza, Rosho Magia Hashamayma. The ladder is based on earth and it reaches heavenward. And maybe that's the secret. And maybe that's the greatness of all these outstanding people. For instance, the Torah describes in more than one place that Sarah was extremely beautiful. She was extremely beautiful. Hineina yadati, Avraham tells his wife, I am very much aware of the fact ki isha yifat mareah, that you're so beautiful. And it says when the Egyptians saw her, they went wild. Vayihalelu is according to one interpretation. Vayiru tal Paro. Now, could one suggest that there must be some kind of reason why the chief prophetess of the world, why does the chief rebbitzin of the world have to be so beautiful? Why is it significant? What's the significance of the fact that Sarah is so beautiful? So I'm sure there are many responses. Can it be that part of the excellence of Sarah is that she excelled in her beauty, in her physical beauty, but at the same time, she excelled in her spiritual beauty as well? Maybe there are people who are experts in the world of spirit, but they have nothing to do with this world. And maybe there's some people who are experts in this world that have nothing to do with the world of spirituality. Shnei Chayyei Sarah. She was able to combine. She was able to create a fusion between the two worlds, and that's a very unique accomplishment. And can it be that that's why she's buried in a place called Yeah, where is that? What's the name of the city? Hebron. What does Hebron mean? Hebron means the place of combination, right? The place of chibur.
Good.
The place of what? What?
Good. I'm just agreeing.
No, thank you so much. Hebron, right? Maybe this is a place. We have a man here from Hebron. Yes. Maybe Hebron is a place where heaven touches earth, or earth touches heaven. Maybe it's a place of unity, of unification, of combination. And maybe the great people buried there are experts in how to bring the two worlds together. And that's why they're in Hebron. And maybe that's why the name of the cave, this Shabbat, with the help of God, many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people visiting Hebron. I hope that way before Shabbat, the people buried there will come back to life. They probably won't be in Hebron this Shabbat. If all of the great patriarchs and matriarchs come back to life, I assume they'll all be in Yerushalayim for Shabbat. But let's say temporarily there are plans for many people to be in Hebron, right? So what's going on in Hebron? There's a special cave there. What's the name of the cave? What's the name of the cave? Machpelah. What is Machpelah? Why is it so important to them? The Ma'arat HaMachpelah. I wish we had a board here. We had one, but someday we'll restore it. Mem Kaf Pei Lamed Hey. What does that word mean in Hebrew? The double, right? There's a double cave. What's the significance? Why is that important?
Men and women.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, husband and wife.
Yeah, there is such an interpretation, right? According to one interpretation, that's discussed in the Talmud, that's discussed in the commentaries. Rashi quotes it, Kfula bezugot, right? There's Adam and Eve, there's Adam and Chava, there's Abraham and Sarah, there's Yitzchak and Rivka, there's Yaakov and Leah. They're not individuals. That cave is dedicated to a double kind of cave, right? Or there's an interpretation in the Talmud, Rav and Shmuel, two of the greatest rabbinic scholars of the early period of the Amoraim, the early period of the Gemara. They discuss this word Ma'arat HaMachpelah. One says Shnei Batim Zeh Lifnim Mizeh. There were two chambers. One was within the other. It was like one was the outer chamber, the inner chamber. The Machpelah, two places. There was an outer level, an inner level. One says no, it was a bayit va'aliyah al gabav. It was 2 stories. It was one. What's the significance of that? I mean, it's very interesting, perhaps historically, but what's the spiritual message of Ma'arat HaMachpelah? Anyone? What do we learn from that?
Fusion of the physical world and the spiritual.
That's what I want to suggest. I want to suggest that the Shnei Chayyei Sarah represents the fact that the people who we're talking about, specifically Sarah at the beginning of the Parshat, and the other great people that are mentioned in the course of our Parsha, are people who had this level of unison, of unification of the two worlds. Yerushalayim habinuya ki yer shechubara yachdav. It brings everything together, right? It brings the forces together to create this cohesive unit. Maybe that's the level of excellence. And maybe in order to be buried in Ma'arat HaMachpelah, you have to be on that level. So Adam and Chava, the rabbis speak about the beauty of Adam, the excellence of Adam and Eve, the Yitzir Kapav Shel Kadosh Baruch Hu, the creation, the handiwork of God directly, the first creation of Adam and Eve. And Abraham, maybe it's not well known, but the rabbis speak about Abraham being very handsome. The rabbis teach in Midrash Rabbah that when it says that Yitzchak was Ben Avraham, Isaac, son of Abraham, it means that Isaac inherited so many great qualities of his father Abraham, amongst them the handsome nature of Abraham. And can it be that Rivka, who's discussed in our Torah section, you know what it says about Rivka in Parshat Chayyei, you remember?